Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. On today's episode, I have with me a special guest who will be talking on something very interesting, and I know that you're going to be really learning from it. It's a relationship thing, and like you know, OlayemiGift, I'm a relationship expert, a life coach, and a legal practitioner, and also a Jesus girl. So take a ride with me on this journey and listen as we discuss amazing things here on today's episode. Thank you so much. Welcome, my darling husband, on the episode.
Darling G, oh my darling husband, oh my darling wife, you are wonderful,
Must you be
Lord.
dramatic?
I love you so, darling
Should I
wife.
get you a backup singer?
Oh my darling Jesus, yeah. Hey man, everybody, I know how to do backup myself.
You sing a
Hi
backup.
guys, my name is Olajide Daniel Olanrewaju. I'm a filmmaker based in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm a colorist and I'm a cinematographer.
Are you trying to say
decided
yourself on my channel?
she
Is that what
decided
we
to
are
stress
doing
me
here?
and bring me on this show today again. But yeah, it's fine. Let's go. What are we doing today?
So there's this question that has been coming to me frequently now is, how did I know that you were the right person for me? How you know you are the right person to marry? So how you know the right person to marry? I've had people asking me that, how do I know that you were actually the right person for me? Let me even ask you, sir, how do you know that?
No, it's.
How do you know
I'm
that?
not gonna take it easy on my haters.
Who is later
The
here?
questions you asked is for you actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so you should be the one to answer. Maybe you now want me
Yes,
to
and
ask you.
that's what I want us to answer on this
Yeah,
episode.
so how
I'm
did
going
you
to
know?
answer how I knew you were the right person for me, and how you are also going to.
No,
be
I'll just
answering-
listen to you. I don't have to answer
you
any
will
question.
answer my like I will answer how I knew you were the right person for me, and you're going to be answering how you know that I was the right person for you. That's what you're going to be answering. How you know that you were the right, I was the right person.
What
for
if
you.
I had forgotten?
So on this episode, I remember. Should I start with you?
No. Let's start with you first. Open up.
Okay, so whenever people ask me how did I know that my baby was the right person for me, the first thing I do is I'm usually very speechless, because I just know that when you meet the right person is usually different. The feeling is always different. It's not the usual kind of, you just know beyond feeling that there's something special about this person. And that's why usually we say, I think you should go back to one of my previous video, who you should marry. I think it should be something that I advise there, that the first thing you look into when you are ready to marry is your values. So the first thing that was striking for me when I met you was the values
When she met me,
you had. It was
values I exude.
okay.
The glory of God in those values that I could not find elsewhere.
Who says who?
Why didn't you marry them?
And because I wasn't looking elsewhere now. You came
You
and
couldn't
I,
find it. Every
I
other
wasn't
thing was
looking-
out of
I
focus.
wasn't looking elsewhere.
Shallow depth of
Can
field.
we stay on what we are here to discuss and let's talk about whether the values are elsewhere or not? So it was when I met him, the first thing is you should look into his value. And I look at it, the first kind of thing I always tell single is, go for a man that is kind. A woman, please go for a man that is kind. I know he will be feeling himself, but that's him. Allow him to feel himself on this episode only.
I just wrote kind on my head now,
So,
my forehead.
a man that is kind. When I met, I call him Dan. I used to call him Dan then. He was super kind. When I look at his heart, when I met him, I met him a long time ago, and we've been talking.
Let me give you guys a backstory. I was a photographer at that time. She booked me for pictures that she could not even afford to pay.
I don't understand. I was robbed.
So she became broke.
I was
and
robbed.
she could
I
not
was
pay me.
robbed, and I
That
was
was
fighting for my life.
2018.
I was fighting for my life.
So when I saw her again, she was depressed. She was wearing a black gown. She was very,
eh,
very sad.
so
And I'm like,
it's
come, let us give you joy.
that means I was sad.
You
I was
cannot
broken.
continue. You cannot continue your life like this.
Mhm.
Come.
Let us
There
do
is
it
there is
together.
this thing here. Let's build you. Let us change your life. In fact, if possible, while editing this video, if I see those pictures, I promise to use them for edit. I'll give the editors to use. That was how I met her. She was in PPL, poor people's land,
I don't know.
and now
God
she lives in
forbid.
Lekki.
God forbid. God
That's
forbid.
how fast things has
God
come. You can
forbid,
continue
I
your
was not
story.
in PPL. God forbid, I was not in poor people's land. That's your business.
Were you in PPL?
I don't understand what you're saying. I cannot. All things are passed away, behold. All things have become new. So I've met him a long time, and when we became closer, when we became closer in 2020. Yes, it was a product of COVID. COVID brought him. That's his name. COVID brought him. Okay, so we became closer during COVID, and I just discovered that he was a kind man. His kindness was extraordinary. He was very selfless. He was not about himself, even though we were friends. But the way he related to me was just beyond just being. He was too kind.
I'm too sweet.
And another thing is, it's not just because he was interested in dating me as at that time. I discovered that kindness was his person. He was kind to people around him. The way he related to his sisters, to his siblings, to his brothers, to his parents, to his students. Whenever at times I would say, there are some students I met with him then. I would say, is this person your student? She would say, no, I don't address them as my student, though they are my friends. I was like, hey, students, is student bad? Anybody can be saying, no, don't call them my student. Don't call them, at times I'll say your trainees. Don't call them my trainee. They are not my trainee. They are my friend. Even, I remember when he met my mom, my parents, for the first initial introduction, and he brought one of his students then too. I was like, I wanted to tell my parent that this is his student, he's intern, and he looked at me and said, no, he is my friend. He's just that kind. That's the kind of person he is. He's kind to everybody, small, great. If you practically see my babe greeting somebody, we bowing like this. I used to tell him, we bow down and worship Yahweh. That's the style. We bow and greet everybody, respect everybody. And I was like, this man is just unique. And for me as a woman, I need a man that is kind. And for my own special kind, for my own special personality, I think I need a man that is kind, a man that respects everybody, a man that is lovely. And that was what I found in him. Even though for me, I wasn't interested in dating him when we met. It was not about
because
dating.
he was short then.
Who was short?
He was short.
You Abby. You.
That was why she was not interested, despite
he
the
is tall now.
values.
He is tall now.
Am I not taller than you now? Can you adjust the framing and we should stand up? No, Abby. The director said no. I would have shown the world how short you are.
You're tall now. So, but it was kind, and I just know that this man is a keeper. Any woman that has this guy, I wasn't interested in dating, but I knew it was amazing. And for you, if you are looking for a man, I think you should look at values, look at kindness, look at a man that is kind to
It's
people.
very important.
Not just you because he wants to date you or he wants to have a relationship with you, but to people around. Is he kind? The way he talks to the younger ones, is he kind in his approach to them? If you can't find it, please don't say he will take care of me or he's nice to me. He's not a kind person. And a kind person, we when it comes to relationship or marriage, they don't there's nothing for them to maltreat you. They will disrespect you because they don't have any emotional attachment to people. They don't care. Emotionally, they are unkind person. Emotionally, they are out. So they won't be kind to you. They will maltreat you. You can't express. Even in hurt, unkind person will deal with you anyhow. Even when they are not hurt, they are unkind. If they are not hurt, imagine what will happen. So that was what I saw in him. And I usually, he's here. he can testify. I will tell him whenever we are talking that time, I will say, your heart is just somehow, because the way my babe does not think about himself. If there's any unpleasant situation, he just think about other person. He will tell you that I'm fine, I'll be fine, but I will say no, this is just too much. And
If any pin should dare fly around, it is going to bust this head because my head is.
I did not tell you to come and feel yourself on this show. I'm just telling people on how they will know
All
the
right,
person
go on.
is right.
Go on.
I'm not telling you to come and feel yourself. And that's
Go
the
on.
first thing for me in a man. Look for a man that has a kind heart.
All right, and then
kind
for
heart.
me, she just said the first thing, and I would like to talk about the very first thing I found in this small girl that time before we decided to help her life. And you know, we married her.
Your life. Do you know
We
how many
gave her,
times?
we
Do you
gave
know how
our
many
family the
times
bride
you cried?
price.
Do you know how many times you cried? Like, please, I should not leave you, you will die.
Me, never.
Oh
that
yeah,
was
tell
an
them
exaggeration.
that you did not cry. Did you cry?
Why would I cry because of?
Did you cry?
So
You are trying to.
when I met her that year,
Mhm.
2018, she was very down.
You
know, she had
did
seen.
Did I tell you?
She had seen terrible things from different men in Lagos.
Wow. How many
So,
people have I even met?
all right, now, so jokes apart, when I met her, I was a photographer on campus, Lagos State University. Shout out to you guys, people from Faculty of Arts, Music Department. So, and she was a law student. There is just this way people perceive people from law departments. And prior to that time, I had a friend also who was in a female friend who was in law department, but she was very, very proud. So there was just that thing I had at the back of my head that law students, I'm not sure I want to have anything, to do with. Even there are guys that are respected in a way that is different from every other person in the faculty. So she contacted me that she was going to do in the school. Yeah. So she contacted me that she wanted to do her birthday picture for year 2018. God even knows how old you were celebrating then, that she was doing portrait session. But unfortunately, she there was an incident that happened in that area. Like I said, she was living in Ukokomaiko. Aporo is from there. Just claim it. It's not a big deal. So she was meant to pay me for the session. She got my contact through Dami. Shout out to Dami also for linking us up. Dami and what's the other girl's name?
Latifa babe.
Latifa. She was a makeup artist that came to meet. Yeah.
Latifa made.
She was a makeup artist that made. I remember very well. She wore hijab down for the shoot. She was one that made Dami up for the shoot. And that was 2018 actually. So Dami's birthday was around, if not February or March, thereabouts. So they loved the picture. Then, it was time for our own birthday. Maybe it was in August that we were having that discussion. So all of a sudden, I gave her charges. I charged her. And then I just noticed that she was no longer responding to my messages. And I was not really expensive, but there was just this way that I would charge people. Students, we were all students, but I just positioned my brand in a way that I was not that cheap guy. I knew what average guys were charging, and I would just charge double of that amount. So I gave her my price, and she stopped responding to my chats. In my head, I just felt maybe she couldn't pay the money, and that was why she just stopped replying my chats. So not knowing that she got robbed in her hostel, they took her phones, they took her money, everything that she would have. In fact, there was no vibe for birthday again. So there was no way to contact her. And then I asked her, how about your friend? She just said that she's not been hearing from her. So finally, I used to be a graphic designer before I did graphic design, I did printing, and then I stopped all of those when I had admission into the university. So I focused only on photography. So whenever people contacted me, those days I used to be very, very kind, like she said. So I would get their picture, there was no WhatsApp status. Do you still remember? So if you're wishing, yes, now, if you were wishing people, you would just go to your DP, you would change your DP, and you would change they have one status also that is just down beneath your profile picture. That's what people usually would do. Everybody would change their DPs for you. So I took a picture and then I did some designs on it. That was in CorelDRAW, not even Photoshop. So, and then I sent her across to people, and people posted that picture a lot, for that period in time. So, but she was not online also for her birthday. So, maybe a week or so later, so we met, and here was that girl. I just felt one of my runaway clients. So she said she got robbed, blah blah blah. That she saw the design. Thank you, and that was just all. So till I think we now exchange contacts again, and then usually I would share Rhapsody of Realities to everybody every month. I'd been doing that thing since maybe year one, maybe 2016. So I just would write it every month on my status that I would send it. I used to create a broadcast list where I would send it to people across. And then she said she would love to have a copy of the Rhapsody of Realities, but she would prefer hard copy or something. I said, I have soft copies. So I started sharing to her, every month. And that was just how our conversation started. And it stopped until 2020. So Holy Spirit just blow that breeze for my head, and I'm just like, mama, she not only Rhapsody you want to collect. You can collect other things now. You can collect ring. You can collect my house. You can collect my surname. No, be only Rhapsody of Realities.
I can collect your art too, Abby.
Yes, and I can rap you Sodi. That's the realities, right? And and that just happened, That was 2020, and we decided to talk further. I was coming from a terrible relationship, and my sanguine would, because of my temperament, I love meeting people, I love talking with people. So, and that was just what got her, and she found that kindness in that, this handsome man, and she just felt like I can't go again, just like Super Mario.
So and you also think the first thing a woman should look for, the first thing any man should look for in a woman is also kindness. Is that what you're saying?
In short, I think I didn't answer that question actually. I only told the background story to how we met. And then, so if I'm looking at the very first thing that attracted me to you was not your beauty, because I really can't describe you facially, but I just knew you were fair. So if I'm being sincere and honest, the only thing that attracted me to Olayemi was our spirituality.
You mean the first thing?
The very first thing.
Because if you're
that our status,
that has drag you like that guy that said that his wife is not the most beautiful.
What on that bio, people change it every time. It used to be things on point, whatever things on point, birthday things on point for people. Our status was Jesus. Our bio rather was Jesus got the whole of me. That thing was on our bio for more than 3 to 4 years, until like maybe 2021 was when she changed it. Jesus got the whole of me. Then Jesus girl, full stop, space, Jesus girl, exclamation mark. So I'd always wanted someone who was spiritual. She was spiritual. She loved God. She served God in her fellowship. She was passionate about evangelism. And I'm like, if you can just get someone who is spiritual, who is truly born again, trust me, you are 70% done. And aside that, the second thing, she has not said it, but I would say the second thing. The second thing for me is consistency. I'm learning how to be consistent in things I do. My babe, if she cleans this table today, if she wants to start doing it, you will not have a need to remind her to do that thing tomorrow. I think I said that when I proposed as well. She's very, very consistent. She washes her clothes every night. God, me. Not to shame anyone, but myself as a person, I don't wash my clothes until there is no more clothes to wear in my wardrobe. So my former house where I used to stay, when I want to wash clothes, they will ask me, Daniel, are you packing out? I won't even understand what they are saying, because I'm very serious. And then there was no washing machine. There was nothing like, there was, but I didn't have. So many times I would leave Egbeda and I would travel down to Ikorodu with Ghana must go back. I'll go and dry clean my clothes at Mr. Steve's house in Ikorodu. That's many kilometers away from my house. Like, it is like traveling, because I hated washing. I was probably in year 3 or something. I'm not consistent. Though in my business, in other things, I'm very, very smooth on that. You will see me clean. But consistency, I could do. I'm the same person I was the same person sharing Rhapsody of Realities. I could do it 3 times in a week and not do it. And I may even forget to do it for the next 1 week. But my wife is very, very consistent. So those 2 things were the first 2 things I saw in this woman's life, and I'm like, bruh, you don't have this, you gonna need this. So that's it for me.
So I think I think that's amazing actually. Thank you for that. I was feeling myself actually when you're saying that.
No worry, feel fine.
But now I'm not proud like you. So I didn't have to start showing it. So for me, when the question of how do you know he was the right person, for me was the second thing after a kind heart, I would say every woman should look into is how their reaction to conflict. Their reaction to conflict.
Yeah.
When I met you, I discovered that I was not someone that when there is conflict, I don't usually say sorry. I don't know how to say sorry. I didn't know how to say sorry. I think I know it now. Oh, can you testify?
She's getting better.
I didn't know how to say sorry, but regardless, you see my babe, no, he will just tell me he will not be reluctant. Now he's
Because
proud.
of those values that she
now
has.
he's very proud.
Because of those values she has, I will usually tell her, because I'd read books and I'd learnt all of those things. I'll tell her, it is not about who is wrong or right, babe. I want this relationship to work. You cannot go. Forget about you us trying to analyze. We had some little minute issues then, and I will tell her, it is not about who is right or wrong. I'm sorry. Can we move on? I'm sorry, babe. Look here. I am very. At times I would have to cry. Yeah, I did actually. Not because I wanted to, not to fake it.
Confession. No, I was saying.
But because I could not even just help letting this lady go. So
his reaction to conflict, the way he handles it, he will just tell me, I'm sorry, can we just forgive? Can we just focus more on I heard him say something like, can we focus more on the matter and not ourselves? That ourselves, we are not the problem. Can we focus on what the real issue is and just handle it? Or what do you think I need to do? Just tell me.
And do you know the reason why I said that was because I've lost so many relationships to that. I was not very good with. I was a very good person. I've always been a good person, rather. But when it comes to handling conflict, in fact, some of the broken relationship I had, friends that were no longer friends, was because we had minute issues. That is what basic mind does, and that would just be the end of the relationship. Some people, because their boyfriend called them and they didn't pick, they will just have argument over it, and they are just already sensing that is going to be the end of that relationship. So I'd learned that thing, and trust me, you were a treasure that was just worth selling everything for.
Thank you.
I did.
Thank you. So the way he handles quarrels, conflicts, and he will just tell me, I'm sorry, and it's sometimes I will intentionally, let me confess, I will intentionally just start one quarrel that is nothing, something that will just make something out of nothing.
Demon, actually.
Because it's not demon. I just wanted to hear I'm sorry again, and you will say I'm sorry. Can we just see this? Can we just let this go? This is nothing. I didn't mean it. And I just thought that this man, he doesn't flare up. He won't flare up at you. He won't shout at you. I think the first time I saw him angry at someone or at something was when we went to, and it was because somebody disrespected me at an ATM. at an ATM. And my baby was just like, why are you trying to take, and the person was trying to take advantage of me. And because he's an elderly person, he was trying to take advantage of me, that we should go to another place, that him is still using this place. Just my people was like, what do you mean, why can't they use it? And the
And he
man
thought I
was
was an undergraduate student.
eh,
Meanwhile, I was already
eh,
running my master's program.
yes, and he was
That's just how those
and
elderly people
and he
do.
was just like, no, you guys can't take advantage of them. And I was like, okay. So at that place, I'm like, okay, I've gotten for myself now a jagaban that will fight for me. So that was the first time. When it comes to quarrel, he's always very calm. He will approach it. He will tell me, calm down. Can I talk? That's usually his first word. Can I talk? Can you hear me? Can you listen? Can you calm down?
You've not said all of these things to me in the room.
Can you calm down? Can I talk? Can you hear me first? So all of those, I'm just like, okay, this man is his head is very correct. So that's the thing. So when you are looking for spouse, when you want to know this person is right for you, you look for a man. As a woman, the first thing you look for, a man that is kind to everybody, young, old, age mates, everyone. And the second thing is how they approach to conflict. How did they handle it? Did they handle it with love? I've shown you the example of how my husband, when we were dating, how he was handling conflict. He was not about himself. It was not about his ego. So at some point, his ego. At some point, I was learning from him. I had to change my approach of not saying sorry. There was a time he had to point it to me that, do you know you don't say sorry? Do you know that you are not always right? So I would say, I know. So from there, I started learning. I said, I'm someone that I don't show love when it comes to me.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can ask
It's
my
not that you don't
friend.
show love. You are not an emotional
Person. I mean, when I say, I don't mean I don't love, but you can't
Yes,
see me.
yes.
I'm not so very expressive when it comes
Yes,
to love.
yes.
I may love you and not tell you I love you, I love you, I love you. I may kill you with I love you, or see you and be jumpy. But I learned love, expression of love from him, because he's very expressive. He's very expressive, and he's very unashamed of it. So even in quarrel, he's still very loving. So that was look at the approach to conflict, because conflict is the major. It's major in relationship. It will happen. So, and some conflicts is either they make you guys or they man the relationship. They make your relationship or they man it. So see how the man handles conflict. If this man handles conflict well, then your relationship it has an advantage. So you should know that this person, there's something special about him.
So how did you now know? Thank you for all of those awards. I'll use them for Global Talent Visa.
Not only global talent.
Another thing that I think you should look out for, I've said it. See, if someone is spiritual and the person is consistent, trust me, you have it all. Because no matter what they do, it's going to be good being spiritual. And now they are consistent with it. That is what will take me to the third point in what I think you should look for. Might not be number one, might not be my own first option, might not be your own. It happens differently. So the third thing that is there for me is she's very, very knowledgeable, and she's passionate about knowledge and imparting the same knowledge. That was the very first time in my entire life I'd pastored a church. Can I say that online? Okay. I'd pastored a church, I'd served mentors, I'd attended, like 2 to 3, churches that I was very, very committed, fellowships. But in my life, that was the very first time I choose to be subjected to a woman. A woman has led me. I meant in the place of her knowledge. She can just wisdom comes from her thoughts spontaneously without it's not that she has pre-planned it. It's not premeditated. That's what law would say. I mean, it's not that she will just tell me, whenever we are thinking about something or whenever I'm planning a thing, she will just tell me, okay, how about you plan it? She made me to do my first online WhatsApp class during COVID, and I think we charged about 5,000 naira per person. That time. Even though there was no much money, but I made a lot of. She's very, very smart at planning, and it comes from the place of knowledge because she has read so much, and she's very, very passionate about getting more and always willing to share the same knowledge that she has already with people. She can tell you that, okay, if you are a teacher, there are just some things you can tell people that, okay, for you to make this microphone work, it is just 5 strategies. It's not because she has listed them. She'll tell you, number one, put this wire here. It's not because she knew about that particular thing. But trust me, ask someone who is more skillful, or someone who is thoroughly devoted to that thing. You find out that they won't tell you more than what she has already told you. Should we talk about scriptures? Should we talk about when we are whining ourselves about scriptures? I will tell her that, oh, I want to go for a funeral. She will tell me, let the dead bury the dead. And I'm like, the Bible says that we should rather go to a mourning place than. She will tell me, no, the same Jesus said. It was just so fun. I can't even just number them. Should we talk about when we pray at night together? She easily would come up with.
Online.
When we pray online, yes, now when we pray
Online
together
prayer.
online, she would, the way she different perspective about her knowledge, the way she share God's word is very different. She craves for knowledge, she's knowledgeable, and she's always willing to share. Her friends are very, very, they are just always calling her, okay, Olayemi, what can I do? This thing. She easily just comes up with solutions. She's solution oriented. And like I was saying about being subjected, in every relationship that I've had, I was always the pilot. I was always the pilot. I was always the one that would force us to pray. I would be the one that would force us to do things that are right, to do this, to do that. But when I was with this lady, I'm serious. So I just handed everything over, and she was driving. No matter what people may try to, no matter the interpretation people want to give to this, but that was what I did willingly. In fact, I even told you then that I don't believe that ladies are spiritual. That Christian sisters are spiritual until I met my wife. That was when I had that change of mind. I threw out my gloves, and I'm like, okay. She will tell us, okay, this is what. Even when I'm talking about money, when I'm talking about clients, she taught me how to be professional in sending emails. At times she will see some of my emails, and she will be so angry. And I'm like, I've sent this already. You can't unsend an email. She will tell me, no, email determines who you are. You are not meant to do this. And even you can't use shorthand for emails. She will tell me, no. She's look out for values. It is beyond. Love itself goes beyond. She's beautiful. I've not even talked about beautiful. We've not even talked about handsomeness. We've not talked about beauty. We've not talked about the physical attraction that we now had towards each other. Because I remember that, that year I could remember that I can't even describe how you look like. I'd seen your Instagram. Yes, we've met a long time. We just were discussing. The last time, the time we met prior to that time was
2018.
No, 2020 actually, before COVID.
Okay,
that was when you asked about Rhapsody.
Okay.
I asked her if she had read for today. She said she didn't read. I said I read one for today. She asked me the topic. I said I had forgotten. But she should go back and read it because I read, and that was the last time I saw her. I really can't describe how she looks facially until she now sent me one of her pictures. That picture is still in my email. God.
You will soon frame it.
God. She wore a tomato red, color, and then a jean. She had the glasses on. So clean. And I'm like, she Rama Ilomo Jesu.
No.
That night. I'm like, see, she now even now told me another thing, that God told her that she was going to marry someone from Abeokuta. I'm like, Emi gogoni. Emi gogolo Abeokuta yẹn kò lè jẹ́ Samuel. I just sat there. I sat there straight. I'm like, nah, I'm not leaving. That was when physical. I'll go back to my emails and I'll be like, because the current pictures she sent to me was not even looking like what she looks like on Instagram. She was just like spaghetti there, one, nothing, no figure, just
That
a
was
straight
there
one.
now. That was
And when she sent me a picture, I'm like, no, you have come to stay. Holy Spirit has come to stay now. You are not doing overflowing. You are not coming and going. So that was it for me.
Thank you. That was fun to listen to. Yes. So I know for you as a guy, I know you should know from what he said what you should be looking to. If spirituality is called, for me, I think ladies too. Spirituality is called not just in a woman, in a man. You need a spiritual man. And for us as a Christian, I think for us as Christian, spirituality is very, very important. You need to be devoted. You need someone that is devoted in place of the word of God, prayer, and knows their honors when it comes to their relationship with God. And it talks about consistency. And for me, I just do those things. My way of life is like I've mastered my way of life. There are things I know I won't do, and if there's anything I want to learn, I learn them and they become an habit. I don't learn anything to just learn for learning sake and forget them. I learn them to become an habit. That's how I learn. So it talks about consistency, and it talks about knowledge. When you marry someone that is knowledgeable, that can help you when you are confused, because there will be times that you need someone to talk to. And when it comes to relationship and marriage, your first point of contact after God is your partner, your husband or your wife. At times sef, most time, let me even tell you the truth, forget say after God, the first time most time is your spouse. Both of you now go to God most time, because you can easily tap them, you can easily touch them, you can even easily talk to them before you even know say baba God dey. The both of you will now say, okay, let us go to God and talk, because you before God, two
That's
of
even
you
the way
before
God
God,
wants you to see
yeah,
it.
two of you before God, you're one. So they are your first point of contact most times. So you have to make sure that the person you are with is knowledgeable. They can give you the right guidance. They can
I
talk to
can
you.
talk about so many times that I was so weak. When I left mainland and then I moved to my first apartment on the island, things were not moving fine. Should I even talk about one major loss that I had that time? Thank God, because she was by my side. She would tell me about God's promises. In one of our Bible study series, I spoke about that time that my heart was so heavy. And God didn't even tell me. It was just from the wealth of her knowledge that she just told me one point while we were praying, and my heart, it was just like something God lifted off my heart, and I just go better, because life itself is spiritual. It goes beyond the physical attraction, goes beyond all of those things. Wear out, like it wears out. In fact, when you get married fully, you won't be having sex every day. It's so hard, but at times a week might be over, and then that will just be when you'll be remembering that, oh, we've not even done this thing,
You
because
remember like that.
I mean,
A week, yeah,
but it's just trying. She's not lying, actually. It's very true. Even our pastor was like, you think me? It is just so essential that life itself is spiritual. The journey of life is spiritual. So you need someone who knows God, someone who loves Him, someone who can teach you. So in fact, no, I was still talking about knowledgeable in our academics. My babe loves mathematics. The only reason why I studied the course that I studied, in fact, I started from GS2. I was already researching on courses that would not make me to do mathematics. They told me arts department, they don't do maths. I'm like, there is no maths there. Thank God. I went there. Do you know mathematics was the reason why my admission was delayed for 8 years before I finally entered LASU? When I now got to school, I was now asking again, which course will now make me to do mathematics?
We don't make it to do maths.
They said music. I'm like, okay. They said mass comm, they will be borrowing some courses in mathematics, and then in logic and reasoning, they will borrow some courses also. Then they will come to law. Like, no, let me stay in music. It was when I started music, that was when I knew that even music itself was mathematics. But she loved her course, she loved what she was doing, she was excellent. She had great results, you know. And I'm just like, any man they come on Michelle. Truly, she talks about mathematics, and I'm just like, I don't even know HCF. I don't know LCM. I can't solve all of those things again. I don't know them. But, you know, she's always excited about all of those things. And, you know, when you think about the
and
value.
I'm not even in science class.
When you think about the value, it will not only stop at you, it flows to your children, flows to people around you. Imagine if there is any speech that they want anybody to if they ask me to recommend anybody to come speak for the president, I'll point to my wife first. She's a great public speaker.
Bring Michelle.
You know.
So another thing for me when I met him was when I discovered his commitment. So I will tell you that when you want to know that someone is right for you as a woman, is ask yourself this question: is he a keeper? Is he committed? Is he a keeper? So when I met my babe, he was such a keeper. I saw it in him. He was, you know that this person, he has come to stay. This one has come to stay and is ready to fight for it. So the same way that God is ready to fight for whoever, you know, when the Bible says he left the 99 and went out for the one, that's my babe. He was ready and he was just like, I'm here. I remember the time we started getting close from 2020. You just would tell me, I'm not here to be your friend, though. I'm not. At the time I would say, we are brothers in Christ. I'm not your brother. Oh. I'm here to marry you. And I would just like say they play in my mind as they play. Even if my friends are whining me that time that, what if you now marry this guy? Say no, make it just a play. But you will see everything about him speaks that he was ready to commit it. He was ready to be committed, and he was a keeper. He guides, he protects the relationship. Even from the friendship, he was very protective. I told you
I would jealously guide your love. If you should remember the text message. She even told me I should be sending messages to her every day.
No, you were the one sending it.
You asked for it.
No.
You did.
You were the one sending it. I was not the one that said you should stop it.
No, you said I should be sending it to you every day. There was a time you told me.
Hey, I don't understand.
And my babe would never reply you. I was texting her every day for like 3 months. She didn't reply one. Until the day that she now replied one. And I'm like, this message is... I was a poet now. This message is very, very great now. I didn't even know that it was Simi song Duduke. That this woman was composing to me. Until I now heard this song. I've heard these lines before. You know. So, and when you now see all of these values, why would we not get married?
And that was it for me. So when I saw everything, that this man is a keeper, he will protect you. See, a man that loves you will not come and be making you to be confused that is he you won't even be asking the question of, is he right for me?
You won't be asking the question that John the Baptist asked concerning Jesus. Are you the one?
Are you the one?
Or we should?
You will not. You will just be convinced because everything about them speaks that this man a correct guy. He did there. So he was a keeper. He was ready to guide. You know, he was ready. He was committed. And I will say, when they ask me what is love, the first thing I say about love is commitment. Love is commitment. Love is sacrifice. And that was everything you brought. You were committed. You were sacrificial. So a man that loves you, truly loves you, will not make you to be confused. You will not be asking yourself, is he right for me? Does he love me? Because everything about him speaks love. Everything about them. You know, I did not tell you that the first thing you should look out for is a man who loves you. See, love is more of action than saying. You will see love in there. That's why when the Bible wants to describe love, he didn't even say love is when someone loves you. He said love is kind, love is patient. He was telling you the expression of love. That's love. So if a man loves you, these are the expressions of them. A man will love you, will be kind. a man will respect you, a man will keep you, they will be committed. You know they've come, they will make their intention clear. I told you, my babe didn't come and be telling me that, let's just date and see for a while, and when we know if you are compatible or not. He knew what he wanted.
I told her, irú ọmọ yẹn máa ń fún ẹ lóyún ni.
Let-
Irú ọmọ báyìí, wọ́n máa ń fún yín lóyún ni.
So he was just like, he knew what he wanted. And for instance, when you look into the scripture, you see Jacob. He knew what he wanted. That is Rachel I want. I didn't have to come and
for 7 years that turned 14, that turned 21.
Like, for Rachel, say,
Bible says it was just like few days.
It's like, for Rachel, I will do anything.
And another thing that I saw was our values aligned. I thought about it that, wait, she's a very great speaker. While dating, and I'm a videographer. Imagine if she's been invited to speak at any event. I would just go there and document her as a photographer or as a videographer. And just like what we are doing now. Yes, just like what we are doing now. I didn't even know I was going to have a podcast studio that time, but I would tell her, babe, sit down. You're a very great writer. When you sit down, you will talk. Yeah, she's a good writer. She's a good speaker. Just sit down. You can talk about. She loves talking about relationship. Even though there were even things she won't even be able to talk about them because she was not married. I would just tell her, babe, just still start. Do all of these things because, in fact, 1012 Studios started with all credit to my wife. I used her to get all of my content that we were running ads with.
And now you let me when I wasn't shooting in a while, and you didn't even bother to say anything. Because you now have clients. No problem.
Rain dey fall for your side. I know the only thing they talk. So she was the face for 10. In fact, so many people would ask me that, is it Olayemi that owns the studio? And I'll tell them she's one of our partners. Me, because she was the only one I was shooting when the studio was empty. We had nothing here. I only had maybe 1 or 2 cameras. There was no proper light. I would tell her, whenever she comes around, we have seats before you go back. Let us shoot. I will shoot. Okay, talk about this, talk about this, talk about that. And I used that to build portfolio for 1012 Studios. And now we've got a lot of clients. That's purpose. That's alignment.
So our purpose aligned.
Yes.
So I think that's very important too, because you should not forsake your purpose because of relationship. Your relationship should even strengthen your purpose. So you should find fulfillment of your purpose with your relationship. So I think that's an addition actually, and it's an important addition. Look at someone who is into your vision, who is into your purpose. How can we work together so that when I married you, some people, you discover that when they get married, that's the end of everything they are doing. Whatever thing you know them they're doing, that's just the end. That's why some parents do not even invest in their women, ladies, because they believe that at the end that one go marry and that will end down for kitchen, she go end down and everything will end, because that's the thing that they've seen most times. So as a woman,
or what even happened to them?
What happened to them too? So as a woman, look at someone. How can we in the relationship self? This is what I want to. That's why first I will encourage that you discover your purpose as a woman, as a man self, because when you are looking for a woman, you are looking for a woman that fits into it, and that's the thing. When I met him too, I was looking. It was perfect, because he's somebody that will always tell me, "What are you doing?" When I didn't even want to, I didn't know that I would be doing YouTube show or something. I've always been someone that I just like to teach wherever place I find myself. Let me just teach. But he just told me that, do you know you can do this? You can sit down, even though he was using it for his own. Can you see what I'm saying? He's trade by barter thing. He's using it for his own show, for his own content. Why me? I'm using it to express my own purpose. So that's just it. So look for someone that you know that there's a way our purpose can align.
It's not because she just had money to fund your vision, or he had money to buy you a car.
Is he into it?
Car can never even be your purpose.
Your purpose, yes.
Your needs cannot be your purpose. It is just what you are meant to do. What God has destined you for.
What you are going to account for at the end when you see your maker. You are going to account for your purpose. That's the thing God is going to ask you.
And I think it is preferably you find that even before you find a partner.
Yes, you find your purpose.
Keeps you stronger.
Although if you are married, you can still find your purpose if you've not found it.
Never too late. That's true.
But it's better if you are not married. Please find your purpose so that you will know the right man that fits into it. And
And I
That's it.
think that's just things we found in each other,
Yes,
and we
and we,
decided to
we
get
decided
married.
to say, oh no.
And I'm like,
No, he married me. Oh.
we got married to each other.
You married me.
You married me too.
You married me. You married me. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
It's been amazing time listening and talking here also for us. And I know that you're going to be seeing me with him more often than ever.
There are more things we'll be doing. We'll be playing games as well. You know, we'll do random things that will keep you guys alive on this channel. And if you are new to this channel, I think it will be very, very good you subscribe to this channel. Hit this. It is the simplest thing you can do to help the channel grow. Hit the notification bell and like this video. Share to people. You know, could be your younger sister, could be that person that discussed about. Like I said, there are playlists of videos on relationships. She has about 2 seasons, you know, on that. And this is going to be available on Spotify podcast as well. So you could listen to the audio. So thank you very much. What's the closing remark you tell them?
So I would just want to say that if you find the right person for you, please kindly let me know in the comment section.
Or even if you are married, let us know how you know that person is
was
the right person
for you.
Yeah,
And
that would be
please
so
kindly
engaging.
let me know in the comment section.
And are there other values that you think you know to yourself that you want to see in that person? Drop it in the comment section. Who knows? The lucky man might be reading it.
Yeah, and the lucky woman might be reading it.
Exactly.
Also. All right. Thank you so much. Have a blessed
And
day.
we would see you in our next video.
Bye. I will say
we love you.
We love you guys.
I love my wife more.
Nobody asks you. What you can't do for God?
Yeah.
You love God most.